Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Overas and I'm with the Behavior Analysis Research Clinic and the UF Health Center for Autism and Neurodevelopment. Today I have with me Dr. Timothy Vollmer. He's a professor in the Department of Psychology at the University of Florida and the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. His specialty areas are in autism and applied behavior analysis, and he's here today to give some suggestions to some parents.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, I know that a lot of people are at home with their child or figuring out alternative ways of getting care for their child, and it's a very difficult time. So I had some suggestions for parents and other care providers during this time. One, I think, main suggestion is that don't expect too much from yourself. Most parents and care providers are not professional therapists and they're not professional teachers. So do not expect too much from yourself. Just perhaps embed educational opportunities and learning opportunities into the normal course of your day. For example, one might set up a schedule that would look something like the following. Suppose that your child wakes up at around 7 a.m. in the morning. The first part of the day could involve just a typical self-care, daily living routine, getting breakfast ready, getting dressed, and allowing the child to be as independent as possible and promoting independence during those activities. And reinforcing the independent behavior and as much as the child is able to do. That is a routine that you have to do anyway, and usually those types of self-care routines are things that the child is learning at school, preschool, or in their ABA intervention centers, treatment centers. Then you might have something along the lines of a physical activity schedule, maybe from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Members of the family could perhaps go for a walk or ride a bike, or if you have equipment in your background or in the backyard of your home, maybe play on that, or whatever your child likes to do for physical activity. Because that's good for you and for the child. Everybody needs to be keeping in mind the need for physical activity at a time like this, with, of course, proper social distancing. During the walk or the bike ride or playing outdoors, whatever it may be, you can engage with your child socially and reinforce their verbal skills or communication skills in whatever mode they have. Maybe they use an alternative mode of communication, but it's a good time to actually teach them and model verbal skills during those times. Then you might do something related to an academic activity if your child is normally at school. It doesn't have to be something that the child dislikes or that is difficult for them. In fact, you might pick out one of their favorite activities and just embed academic instruction into that. So for example, if your child likes maps and geography, you might have puzzles that are map geography puzzles. If your child likes computers, maybe they could do an activity on the computer, a math work program, or looking up something on the internet. If your child likes rocket ships, you could do a little internet study on rocket ships. The idea being, this isn't a time to really worry about making academic activity stressful. Embed it into some fun. Then maybe later in the morning, you could have what I would call an environmental enrichment time. And that is an evidence-based practice, but it really just involves letting the child have some fun. You need some time for yourself to do things like pay bills. Maybe you're working from home. Maybe you have to do some cleaning. It is okay for your child to play alone, and let them do their most preferred activities. Give them their favorite toys, maybe a snack. Maybe let them watch a show on TV or listen to music. You don't have to be engaging with them at all times. Of course, proper supervision is required, but don't feel guilty about letting your child just play. That's okay. Then around lunchtime, you can go into another routine about making lunch and eating lunch independently to whatever skill level your child is currently at with respect to mealtime behavior. And then in the afternoon, perhaps just repeat the cycle that I just described, another physical activity, maybe a different one, more conversation time. During all of these activities, when you're engaged socially with your child, it's appropriate to use a procedure we call differential reinforcement, which just means that when your child displays appropriate behavior like communication, play, academic skills, whatever, really reward that, really positively reinforce that behavior. But if they start to display some problem behavior or difficult, challenging behavior, just try to minimize your reaction to that. Don't pay a lot of attention and do not produce a big reaction. And that is known as differential reinforcement. It's a very evidence-based procedure, but just something to keep in mind throughout the day when interacting with your child. So the afternoon could be very similar, depending on the age of your child, if they take a nap or not. You could do more physical activity, more environmental enrichment, maybe another type of academic activity. And then dinner time and getting ready for bed would be a good opportunity to promote independence and using positive reinforcement to encourage independence with nighttime routines. And then I would recommend just ending with some fun activity, reading books together, watching a favorite show. Of course, reading books is something that's good at any time during the day, or listening to taped stories and things of that nature. But end with something fun so people are not riled up in the family prior to going to bed. Perhaps focus on a calming activity. So I hope that the message has come across that you can teach your child throughout the day. It can be an educational day, but with minimized stress. We're all stressed right now. We will all feel stressful, no matter what is happening within our family dynamics. But there's no real need to go above and beyond enjoyable interaction and creating an enjoyable learning environment for your child and for yourself and the other members of your family. So I hope any part of this is helpful to you, and I truly hope to see many of you in the near future. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Vollmer. Stay safe, everyone.